case this morning between a couple of high school sweethearts. You know, fewer than 2% of all marriages are between people who dated in high school. You are about to see why this young couple came. Mr. Lewis, Ms. Hunter, you two have been married 12 years, and from what I can see here, you two file divorce papers on each other regularly. Every time somebody gets mad, somebody gets served. Explain how this relationship began. Ms. Hunter, I'm going to start with you. You answer that question.
We are high school sweethearts. We have 2 children together. I was pregnant in high school, and he was a grade higher than I was.
Okay.
So
let me ask you this. Was the decision to marry a function of the baby?
No.
So had you not had that child at that time, you still would have gotten married?
Yes.
And you were how old?
16.
And your mother and father or your parents or who come not?
Because my mother was against it. I was young. I was supposed to be educated first, you know, follow the correct
Do you see
steps.
the logic in that at all?
Yes, I see it now.
You know what I mean?
After a while.
You kind of with that.
Correct.
Right.
But when you're young and naive and you have all these hormones and the first time that you see somebody, you know, you want to share life with them. Because a companion, when we first met, you know, it was actually, I liked him very much.
Quiet as it's kept. I was young once. And I had hormones too. Your mind tells you to do, and your parents. That's what parents are for, to kind of harness in those hormones till your brain kicks in.
Well, well, you could say that. But, you know, if you're living a life, you're not going to live it alone. Just because I was in high school and I'm a certain age doesn't mean, you know, I did something incorrect.
I didn't say you were incorrect. I was saying that, you know, people come in here and talk about I was in love and all this. At 16, I was a foolish person. If I'd have married the husband I got now, who I've had for 30 years at 16, we still wouldn't be together because I didn't have any sense. And how you feel and what you need to do aren't necessarily the same things, because my understanding is you two file divorce papers on each other on the regular. Is that right?
False. He filed divorce papers at the beginning. I did not know of it at all until he told me. Then, you know, based on that, we furthered our relationship. Then it comes to this point where we don't get along at all. So I ended up, I filed.
You filed.
I filed, and that's only twice. We didn't go back and forth of filing all this stuff. And then I didn't proceed into it at all.
Are they kind of like warning letters? You fill out the petition for divorce and you serve it as kind of like a warning without really intending to go through with it?
It was kind of something like that, to let him know I'm fed up. We need to get it together. We need to work as a family.
I got you. Mr. Lewis, let me ask you this. You were a football star in high school, right?
Yes, I did.
All the ladies loved you?
Not like that.
Not like that?
No.
It wasn't like that. My understanding was, however, that you were so intoxicated at the wedding that you said, "my awfully wedded wife." Is that accurate?
Yes, it's accurate.
Now, why were you drunk at the wedding? I know a lot of guys get drunk before the wedding, pass out at the altar. I see that. But drunk at the altar, explain how that happened.
I wasn't drunk. I was intoxicated over marijuana, not drinking.
Oh, okay. I had the wrong. I was high.
Yes.
Did you know he was high?
Yes.
Did it bother you?
Yes. 'Cause I didn't
You
think he was
say, Mr. Lewis, that despite the fact that you were, you know, at the wedding, that afterwards you were a hard-working guy that worked 2 jobs all the time. Is that true?
No, all the time. I worked there for 8 months, 2.5 years.
What?
Now, imagine correcting the judge at your own wedding story loudly crying face. Legally, being intoxicated at a wedding can matter if consent is questioned, but here it's doing something else. It's setting the emotional tone. This marriage didn't start with clarity, it started blurry. And let's be honest, high at the altar is wild. Audience check. Is this funny, reckless, or a serious warning sign? Because depending on your answer, this whole marriage looks
I
very
used to
different.
hang around in a complex, and there'd be women there sometimes. You know, they'd be there, and I don't know who.
Up on the man to see if he was misbehaving?
Yes, because I was hearing things through the grapevine,
What particular grapevine was this?
through family members.
His family members
Yes.
were telling you that he's running around with other women.
Yes,
Did you believe him?
yes, because he wasn't ever home.
He was never home. We're going to talk about who you believe, why you believed it, and how you got to the point. How serious were those accusations and allegations about him cheating?
Very serious. Because when he wouldn't come home, when he would come home, he would only take showers. And
Like, what time would he come in? Was he coming in at 6 after work and showering, or was it 3 a.m.?
no. Like he said, he was working 64 hours and everything. Then he ended up quitting one of the jobs. So then after quitting one of the jobs, he ended up going out and hanging out. I have no problems with that. But when I'm hearing through the grapevine, going to the movies and hanging out in certain locations without, trying to take me or his son, it is a kind of concern.
Would he tell you where he was going?
No,
Would he
he
call?
didn't. Nope.
He just didn't show.
No. And then when I try to call him, because they used to have chirps, I would chirp him. He wouldn't chirp me back at all. And if I do conversate with him, he'd be so irritated.
Did you ever catch him?
No.
No, but you tried.
I tried.
Mr. Lewis, did you ever cheat on her?
I had one encounter.
You did.
Your Honor, I'm young. I've been with her since I was 17 in high school. All I've been trying to do is make a life for us, and been trying to.
Well, tell me
build
about
a-
that one encounter. When did it happen? Why did it happen? Did she know about it?
I informed her of the situation. She had served me some papers, and I thought once the papers was there, it was over between us. I was free to do what I want. But once.
Can I ask you a question about the serving of papers? Because, the serving of papers is a very definitive act.
Yes.
If I was upset and I wanted my husband to know I was upset, I would turn around and say, hey, Eric, let me tell you what you did that made me mad. I wouldn't go to court and fill out paperwork. So what did you think the paperwork would do that a conversation couldn't accomplish?
Because it's been 12 years, Your Honor.
Because what's been 12 years?
It's been 12 years off and on with this relationship, and obviously it's not working out to the point that I had to file.
You say you thought he was cheating. He admitted to one encounter. Did he tell you about that encounter?
Not really.
I'm not quite sure what you're so upset about, either one of you, that you filed papers. You kind of suspicious of him. He's going out and he's not really telling you where he is. That to me is a couple of conversations and a phone call resolution. What is it that burned you so that it made you file papers? That's what I want to know. What was so wrong?
We argue all the time. We don't.
What do you argue about?
Like just little things. Like we could talk about our son, and for example, if he's like football, for example, like coaching. Like if his son was being coached by another man and he didn't like the way that it was, we'll have a conversation. Like I don't like the way he threw that ball, and then he can say, well, I like how he caught the ball. He's not ever. I'm just trying to give an example.
Yeah, I'm trying to work with you too.
Yeah, that one is just off, but that's hard to explain right now. But what really pushed me to the edge is because we don't go out as a family.
Well, Ms. Hunter, I'm not sure you're sure why you're so angry. So I'm going to switch to Mr. Lewis, and we're going to try to figure out your wife, about what you argue about and what's so upsetting that you're filing divorce papers. She told me about the throwing and the catching of a ball. I want to talk to you about what you think is so upsetting, and I'm going to make a suggestion. Tell me about side of your union.
Yeah, she's made up this thing where it's a make-believe that I have a kid by somebody else. I've been trying my best to convince her for this past year that I have no kid with nobody else. She came out the blue with this.
When did she come out of the blue with this?
Last year.
Last year. What happened last year that made you believe that he has a child with someone else?
I didn't ever believe that he had a child. Not ever. Based on me getting pregnant, having another child by him,
Right.
which was last year, we just had another child, his family members seemed to be involved. I was happy and enjoyed with being pregnant, having another baby by him,
Right.
because I told him years ago I wasn't going to have no more kids with him. And so when I decided to have another baby with him, his family members got involved in social media. When I put it on social media to say, hey, I'm pregnant, yay, we did it.
Right.
Right. You know, all of a sudden he gets a phone call from some of his family members talking about, oh, you're pregnant? You're having a baby? Months later, I'm hearing something about there's another baby around. I actually was at my parents' house, and this was in 2006. I was receiving a document, and it was based on child support that we were going through. But it was a different name. And I called him and I told him, you know, there's this other document that's here. What would you like me to do with it? Because we just, you know, didn't want to have anything involved with child support. So I ended up tossing it out.
So you think it was a mistake, an administrative error?
Yes.
So that didn't make you believe he had an extra kid out there?
No, I thought it was just our situation.
So your problem is his family seems to be dipping in your business about your children and not being happy that you were pregnant again. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Does your family dip? Do they get on social media and start commenting and saying,
I don't pay no attention to any of that. I got focus and things that I'm trying to do with myself, so I have no time to pay attention to what's going on.
Well, do you
with
know what
social
your
media.
family thinks?
To my knowledge, everybody was happy. You know, it's our second child. We ain't had one in 10 years. So it was a happy thing for us. Everything is supposed to be good. So,
All right. Did you have something else you want to say?
Well, you know, it doesn't seem like anything that he's trying to help or trying to avoid things, because when we did, you know, end up marrying and stuff like that, he didn't want to give me his last name. He did when we were in high school.
He didn't want to give you his last name?
No, I even tried to save our marriage, and he ripped our marriage certificate. And he
Did you
threw
not
down.
want her to take your last name?
She jumping back and forth through our relationship. At the beginning of our relationship, I had goals and plans and things of that nature with her. That's why I married her, because I thought my goals and plans involved with her, you know. And that when we had got married, it was to provide security for her, you know, to make sure that she felt secure, that I wouldn't run off with nobody, because I was a year and a half older than her, and I was in college playing football, and she was still in high school. So what I was
Did you tell her, but you can't use my last name? That's the part I'm trying to get to.
No, I never
Yes,
said
he
that.
did. Yes,
I never
he
said
did.
that, ma'am. It was just that during the time after I married her, accusations she started accusing me of things, and it's like, why did I
No.
ever marry her? You know, it was like.
I am going to dig deep down in the dark recesses of my brain and try to figure out what y'all telling me. And then I will make are two decent people who tried to do the right thing, but you were A, too young, B, and not educated enough. And when I say not educated enough, I'm not simply talking about reading, writing, and arithmetic. I'm talking about understanding the nature of a relationship and a marriage. You do not conduct a relationship through filing papers, social media, and all of that other stuff. A relationship is conducted between two people, and I don't think it's just you. I think it's society in general. We have all of these extraneous avenues of information that we get. Social media, boom. It's like a high school hallway. It has no emotion. You can't. What two people need to do when they want to conduct a marriage is they look each other in the eye, they hold hands, and they say, this is what I am concerned about. These are my fears. What his mama says, what your mama says, all of that is not important. It's what's important is that you conduct your business in your household. If you have a problem, don't go file papers. Have a conversation. I don't see divorceable anywhere in the situations that you have raised to me. And maybe you've come here and gotten a little confused and can't tell me what's really wrong. If I ran and filed papers every time my husband PO'd me, they would have me in jail for vexatious litigation. I would have spent $1 million on filing fees. That's not how you conduct business. You got married for the wrong reason. You need to grow up. I want you two to go to counseling. I'm not going to take seriously any divorce filings here. What I want you to is to go to marriage counseling so you learn how to have a relationship. You learn how to have a disagreement. You learn how to have an argument. You've got children. You have an obligation to make it work. I see nothing here that says these two people can't make it. I just don't say it. But I think you need to be educated, and I think you need to be educated about emotion, about marriage, about family, about responsibility, and about maturity. I think you need the same thing. I can't take this 99th filing of a petition to divorce seriously. Your petition to this court is hereby denied.